how do I explain to people, no, from the boardroom to the spiritual realm and anything in between, I got you. The reality is those are all parts and pieces of me and things that come naturally. You're listening to Anatomy of an Icon. I'm Tonya Ann, and this is what it sounds like when people stop performing. No scripts, no careful answers. We talk about the things that we're not supposed to talk about out loud, or not supposed to talk about if you are a business coach, or if you're a woman that has class, or you're a mom, or you're a wife, or fill in the blanks. There's always an excuse or a limitation. Are we listening to other people's limitations, their stories, or do we get to write our own rules? We're going to call this one Tea with Me because I have my cup of tea with me. I have my cat sitting on my lap right now. I want to talk about the impolite topics, which is probably the reason why I've been hesitating putting this out on the podcast and other places, that it's more polite to talk about business building. I can tell you the truth about these stories where I sat next to the right hand, the CEO. He's at $1 billion company, sat at the right hand of a CEO for several years, building a multi-million-dollar company. Being able to help people scale and grow their business comes easy to me because I see all the solutions. I see the problems and the solutions before most people do. I can create solutions that most people don't think of. I've been wildly successful in my personal businesses as well, and creating businesses from scratch, most of them in-person businesses. So it's where they have that face-to-face customer interaction. Although, like I said, several years with physical products as well. Service-based businesses, physical products. Things I absolutely love is working at the right hand of people to build what they desire. Coaching, many years of coaching experience. That's not what I'm going to talk about today. It's not the coaching experience that I want to talk about. It's the sex that I want to talk about. Many of my friends ask me questions about sex too. And I'm trying to figure out, how do I take all of these pieces of me, which are the business building and strategy, which I'm incredibly good at, and it just comes easy to me. Ever since I was a serial entrepreneur, I'm trying to think of the first time when I had a lemonade stand or building a business. I took myself to make business cards at 12 years old. I walked myself across the street to Postal Annex and flipped through the book there and chose business cards for my babysitting at the time. But 12 years old, I made my first business cards, was booked every single weekend. To say that I'm a serial entrepreneur, that's a part and a piece of it. There's also the mediumship part of it, where I can float easily between the spiritual realm and the physical realm, which I don't like talking about it too much with people because they're like, no, bitch, pick one. Like, you're either weirdo out in the ethers or you're 3D and you're sitting in the boardroom. How do I explain to people, no, from the boardroom to the spiritual realm and anything in between, I got you. But the reality is those are all parts and pieces of me and things that come naturally. I'll talk about mediumship on another recording. When I first found my mediumship gifts, I was 7 years old. Today, I'm not talking about my mediumship gifts. Instead, I want to talk with you about sex, because I have years of experience of being in intimate relationships and dating, being married, experiencing divorce. In between all of those things, that I experience sex a lot, because I also have a high sex drive. We'll probably cut that part out later. Good God. Because I'm not 30 years old anymore, because I'm not 40 years old anymore, I have experience. One of my girlfriends, I'll read you a text message. I want to talk about things that clients have asked me questions, friends have asked me questions, friends ask me for advice. When I started to see these common themes that are in there, I wanted to pull up my text messages and thought I would answer the questions for you on this podcast. One of them says, "Hi, beautiful. I had a question for you. I know I can talk to you about anything, so I wanted your advice. Do you think it's weird when guys get insecure about a woman using sex toys during sex?" Okay, I'm going to give you my experience. I'll tell you my answers from experience and take it or leave it. You take the pieces and parts that work for you, you leave the rest. Imagine if you went into the MAC store and you tried on this purple lipstick, bright purple, it's shimmery, it's glitter. If you tried it on and you don't love it, you would leave it at the store. Same thing with my podcast. If there are things that you don't love, you leave it. However, if there's something that you try on and think, that one little piece, that resonates with me, or that allows me to look at it differently. I might not agree with her here. However, for me, it illuminates where it works for me instead. Take the parts and pieces, look at it through your experience, shift it into something that could be useful to you, is what I hope that you get out of this conversation together. And we'll call it the tea with me for now, at least in this episode. Back to the question. Hi, beautiful. I had a question for you. I know I can talk with you about anything, so I wanted your advice. Do you think it's weird when guys get insecure about a woman using sex toys during sex? The insecurity could come from is if a man sees you having a better time with your sex toy than he's ever had with you. Letting a man know that it's different. It's different when a woman uses her sex toy. You are literally plugged into the wall or plugged into a battery and just getting pounded by the pulses, the electrical of whatever the toy is. That's wildly different than the intimacy and connection and feeling the experience with a human. Being there with the man, a woman, whatever you desire, in there feeling another person, it's the breathing together, the connection that we experience, wildly different than a toy. The insecurity could come from, oh, I can't do that for her. She arches her back completely different. She moves different than she does with me. Then my question to you would be, are you allowing yourself to be available in the same way that you are with him? Or is there a heart wall that you have up when you're intimate with him? If I'm intimate with someone, if I have a heart wall up, I'm not allowing myself to feel it in every cell of my body. I'm not allowing it to move through my body, to the energy, the feelings, the connection. That's all stopped with a heart wall. Especially when we as women, and myself included, that when I've experienced real trauma, not dropped my popsicle on the sidewalk trauma, I'm talking about real life, when we've experienced those things, to be able to heal it allows us to be available for the deep love that we desire. If we're not healed, then we can think, oh, I'm going to put up protection, put up a heart wall around this particular piece. I'll be intimate with my man, but then there's this piece that I'm going to withhold, because if I let go of this piece, then I won't be safe. If I let go of this piece, he might hurt me. If I let go of this piece, someone might hurt me. Instead, when we look at it and we can trust ourselves that, okay, I am safe no matter what. When I've experienced those incredibly challenging, hurtful experiences in my life, there were lessons, there were things that I learned about myself in it. Even if it's the lesson of I could experience incredibly challenging things and I know I will be okay. I can experience things that are bad and hurt, and I know I'm resilient. I can recover. I also know in this moment where I chose to be intimate with this man, I chose to be intimate. I'm here, I'm now, and it's us. It's us in this moment. I can choose to be incredibly present in this moment. When we're present in the moment, we're not taking all of those things into bed with us. The hurt, the ex-boyfriend, the last time, the argument we might have had last week, whatever it might be, there are a lot of things that could jump into bed with you. All of that needs to go away. All of it needs to go out. It's you either handle it before you get in the bed, you have the hard conversations, you clean it up. If it's clothes that are draped over the furniture, or if it's a sock on the floor that's going to distract you, take care of those things that are going to distract you so that you can be present. If it's an argument, or if it's bitterness or resentment, clear that up before you jump into bed. Because that extra mental noise or physical noise are things that get in the way of us being incredibly present. When we are present, it's when it's that really good partnership that works. It's when we could feel one another. It's when we can feel it moving through every cell of our body. It's the way that we can exhale a long exhale because it's not controlled. We can take the deep breaths because we're filling up ourselves. We're not trying to breathe or suck or take anyone else in any parts or pieces of them to make us whole. We are already whole and complete. We take the breath for ourselves. We're breathing in and we're allowing it to move through our body, allowing the moments, allowing the experience to move through us. If we don't have that handled, it's going to stop somewhere. It can stop in our head, it can stop in the way that we physically restrain ourselves of, oh, nope, I'm not going to arch my back. I'm not going to let this move through my body. Instead, I'm going to withhold because I'm pissed off about last week or I'm pissed off about earlier today, whatever it might be. It's how can we heal those things and forgive so that we are present in the moments? Back to that question, I think, guys, maybe one of the only reasons could be is, are we being present in that same way? Are we allowing ourselves that same amount of fun that they see? The flip side of it, a guy might have insecurities around it. That's his issue. That's things he gets to work through, especially if it's something that you want in your experience where you say, hey, I would like to play with toys when we're together. And if you guys talk about it before, not opening up the drawer and surprising him with something in the middle of intimacy, it's talk about it before. What's okay with you? What's not okay? Do I like this? Do you like this? Do I not like that? Do you not like that? When we have the conversations before, it's really nice to be able to move through that without thinking, oh, I just turned down the wrong street and she hates that. My last girlfriend loved that. So when we talk about it beforehand, we know it's on the table. We know it's not. Before there's play with toys is asking him, is he okay with that? Then having the conversation with clothes on is generally easier for both people involved. It could be something where he's made up a story about it that it means he's inadequate. If you're a guy listening to this, does not mean you're inadequate. It means it's different. It's flavors of ice cream. You could have chocolate ice cream. You can have vanilla. You can have strawberry. You can have ube. They're different kinds of ice cream. They're different flavors. Doesn't mean one is worse than the other, although we all have preferences. It goes back to the preferences. What is your preference? When we ask, do I think it's weird if a partner doesn't like that? Those could be some of the reasons. Yeah, it's not weird. It means there's something to talk about. Same with us women, that there might be things that we don't love, but it's his favorite. And what if he thinks that's weird that we don't love it? Talking about it before. What do you like? What turns you on? What turns you off? It's important for us as women to know what that is before we begin. What do you love? If you're not quite sure everything that you love, maybe you don't know yet. Maybe we don't know until we experience it of, hey, I tried that. Not my favorite thing. Or, hey, I've never tried this. Let's try it. Oh, that's my new favorite thing. Sometimes we won't know. However, there is a list that we can start with, even for ourselves as women. Can you write it down somewhere? It's either going to be, maybe it's a notes app that no one knows about. Just begin asking, what do you love? What do you not love? What have you always wanted to try, but maybe you've been told that, what is something you've always wanted to try, but you've been told, oh, that's naughty. Oh, that's impolite. Oh, good girls don't do that. Find out what you love. Letting go of the naughty, letting go of the good girl and should. Instead, what do you desire? What turns you on? Another way that I like to connect to my body is having my days for myself every week. I call them those goddess days of having myself where I pour into myself. I cannot give to someone else if my battery is depleted. It's the same way when we look at our phone and the battery is low, you charge your phone. And our bodies are so much more vocal, more so than the battery light that we see. Our body lets us know with tension in our shoulders, or if there's tension in our jaw, or if we're tired. All of those things are the body telling us that we need something, or that we want something, or something needs to be adjusted. When I pour into myself before I get to that empty feeling, with Goddess Days, I can take a long bath. I have a list of things that I know help replenish me. I know it's sunlight. I know it's a warm cup of tea. I know it's going to the gym. Those are the things that help get me back to okay and better than okay. We give from our overflow, not when we're depleted. Back to the Goddess Days of, is it acupuncture? Is it taking a long bath? There are plenty of things we can do that don't cost anything at all. There are plenty of things that we do that can cost money. We get to pick and choose what will help fill us up. When we're filled, when we're happy, when we're content, when we're in that state of wholeness and pleasure, embodiment, and our magnetism, then we can have the best sex because we're giving from our overflow. We're not looking for the experience to fill us up. As a good God, pun intended, what was that? We're not looking for the experience because we're missing anything. Instead, we're choosing into the experience because we're coming from our wholeness. Someone else asked too, they said, what makes good sex is what she said. I think it is the things that I just mentioned already. That one answered that. I feel like what makes good sex. What else do I want to say about that? Okay. What makes good sex is when both people are present. When, and again, this is my experience, when both people are present, when I feel like for me, when I'm well taken care of emotionally in my thoughts as well. Give me the compliments. Men are probably the same way too of, are we looking at them with adoration? Are we acknowledging them for who they are? I like to be acknowledged for who I am. When I'm feeling the partnership, when I'm feeling the honor, the respect, those things, that makes for really good sex for me. Another text was talking about sex as a love language in relationships. It reminds me of one of my neighbors, and she was married for 20 something years at the time. And I asked her, and she was young. She got married to her husband at 18 years old or something like that. They'd been married 20 something years. I asked her, I said, what's the secret to a good marriage? She replied, sex every day, every day. I asked her, I said, what is it that, aren't there times you don't want to do it? She said, oh, there was a time when I told him, yeah, I wasn't in the mood or whatever. She said he was so upset and sideways, or he wasn't completely himself. She said, so we just make it part of our routine. It wasn't that he was taking from her. It was something that was important to him. And she found a way to make it a priority for her too. She said they had the greatest sex life. She said our intimacy is so good. I look at it and I said, what if you like argue or you don't feel like it? She's like, yeah, we handle those things, which I thought was amazing. That what if we handled everything, allowed us to come together in that trust, in that the leaning into the relationship, the leaning into the moments, leaning into one another. We handle our own things separately. We come together and lean into those moments. One of my clients in her marriage and where she was at, I remember giving her that homework assignment. Girl, intimacy every day for 30 days. Their marriage shifted because of it, of her having the responsibility to clean up her mental game and her emotional game and allowing them to come together. She watched too that he became different. She was less critical of him. His posture was different. The way he was treating her was different. It worked in their marriage and where they were at and all the coaching that we were doing together. Again, we take the pieces and the parts that work for us and we leave the rest. How is it not really considered okay for a woman to express her sexuality, express her sexual desires, and she has to watch how she says it to not come across as a certain type of woman? But for men, it's all normal in our society. I look at that, it's women and men are made differently. Yes, that's part of it. Is it taboo in our culture? Yes. Is it more taboo in other cultures? Yes. And the biggest thing is it doesn't interest me why. It doesn't even interest me that it's happening. For me personally, I just look at it, how do I want to respond to that? When I was in business and seeing clients face to face a lot is what I mean by that. When I was seeing clients face to face, I would be really careful when I would go into boardrooms and meeting with my board of directors, et cetera. I never wore a skirt at the time. I wouldn't wear dresses. It was more of the high heels because I also too know with all of my curves, and for some odd reason, it doesn't matter what I wear. People tell me, oh, you have a lot of sexual energy. And I'm like, okay, Jesus, I wasn't even doing anything. At this point, I just think, fuck, I'm just going to take like full embodiment of this and give zero fucks about what people think. Let's see. So back to that question, that's a part and piece of it because the honest part of it is, do I still think about it? Yes. Do I still want to be the girl next door? Yes. Do I have a sexual energy? Yes. Do I want everyone on the fucking planet to know it? Not necessarily, because not everyone gets to be close to me, or even in conversations that I get to pick and choose my clients. There are clients this year that I have not renewed with. So some of them, if we're not a match, we're not a match. There are clients that wanted to continue to work together. However, I was not a good fit for them and where I wanted to go. Back to the question before I digress too much, it doesn't interest me if it's men or women in society. What interests me more is, what do I want to say in my out loud voice? What do I want to say in my inside voice? There are different rules of behavior that I have for myself personally when I'm sitting in a boardroom. There are different rules of behavior that I have for myself when I'm sitting with clients. different rules if I'm sitting with my CPA or family, whatever it might be. There are different parts and pieces where I think it's appropriate. Me personally, that's what I'm going by, or what are my personal standards. And if people think, oh, she's a certain type of woman, doesn't interest me. It used to happen to me even as soon as high school, when people would start rumors that on a Monday, people would say, oh, I heard you were in a hotel room with such and such. And I was thinking, fuck, I was on restriction all weekend, probably for being a smartass or talking too much in class. Talking too much was always written on my report cards. And being on restriction all weekend, coming to school on a Monday and people saying, oh, everyone's talking about it. You were in a hotel room this weekend with such and such, because that's where they had the hotel parties and where we would underage drink. And it became noticeable to me that I don't care what other people think, because I can't control what other people think. What are my personal standards? What do I want to think, do, be, and have? That's up to me. And I get to have a lot of fun with it. If people think that I'm a certain type of woman, okay. But also, too, they thought things about Marilyn Monroe because she didn't act well behaved. What does well behaved look like? Does it look like she was the embodiment of a woman? Does it look like she would laugh with her mouth open, that she could laugh not worrying about how the room responded to her? I love doing things like that. I love walking into a room only wearing confidence and walking into the room authentically me. I don't care how the room responds to me. Instead, I walk in with a full embodiment of who I am. If I want to laugh a little bit louder, it's me. It's because I think it's funny. If I want to appreciate it, if I want to smile, I smile for me, but it's not a forced one. It's not obligatory. There's an old paradigm where we had to smile when we didn't feel like it. My clients now, I love my clients in their 70s too, when they say things like, ah, shit, or whatever it is. I'll joke with them and say, excuse me, ma'am, more enthusiasm from you, please. But I realized too that, and she said, oh yeah, let me put on a smile, because even her realizing at 70 something years old that we've taught to smile when we don't feel like it. When you're hearing this, there's a sign. Maybe don't smile if you don't feel like it. I've also noticed too, along with that smiling, when people ask me questions that I don't appreciate why they ask. And I also wonder why they ask. If there's a question thrown your way and you feel uncomfortable answering it, you don't have to be the polite girl that answers the question. Instead, you can turn it back around and say, why do you ask that? Or what makes you ask that? Or why does it matter? But to have something like that in your back pocket, so that when we're in those uncomfortable situations, if you've ever answered a question and walked away from the conversation and thought to yourself, why did I share that? That was none of their business. Or why did they ask that? Have it in your back pocket where you can look at it and have that response in your back pocket of, why do you ask? Yeah, you don't have to be a good girl. You can express your sexuality, but just know that each way we express it will elicit a different response. If I express my sexuality and I walk out in 8-inch stilettos and a mini skirt, a mesh net shirt and skirt, I'm going to get a different response than if I'm out in something a little bit more modest. My responsibility is, what I'm offering, does that match what I'm presenting? Because I can't go out in that outfit and then be pissed off that someone looks at me and think, oh my God, why did you look at me? Well, fuck, because I'm half naked. That's why. Anyone would look at me. Even women that don't like women would look at me and be like, what is she wearing? I have to know that, okay, what am I offering? The way I dress or act different in the bedroom is different than the boardroom, like I mentioned earlier, and is different than when I'm out walking about in public. Ooh, when I'm out walking about in public, that made me think of another story. There, I get asked out maybe once a week that guys will, I'm trying to think when that's low. Okay, so when I go out in public, guys ask me out. And my friend John said, you need to share that on your podcast. I love him. Anyway, so he said, you need to share that. He said, how you get asked out in the wild. The reason why it works, because I can look like I just crawled out of the trunk of my car and I'll still get asked out, because it's being friendly, it's smiling. I'm enjoying my company so much that when I walk, sometimes I just have a smile on my face or a smirk and people are like, oh, you look happy. I'm like, thank you. Or even the guy in the butcher department, when he's there with steaks and I'm talking with him, the butcher, and he said, you look so happy. What a beautiful part of my morning. I was like, thank you so much. It was early in the morning. It wasn't like I had the most extravagant outfit on, or my hair wasn't done up the most extravagant, beautiful way for the magazine cover. However, he noticed it. And people notice our beauty when it comes from the inside out. People notice when we feel at home in ourselves. People notice when we are really content. I'm not searching or grasping for a man that I hope he asks me out. I hope this one looks at me. I hope this one asks for my phone number. I'm TikTok. I need to not be single right now. Instead, because I'm having so much fun the way it is right now, that's magnetic. People are magnetized towards who you are when you're enjoying your own company. Why wouldn't they? There's another invitation for you, my love. Are you enjoying your own company? Can you smile at people because it's genuine? Can you keep eye contact with a guy a little bit longer? Can you have a conversation with them before fleeing the scene and running off? Just let it be no pressure. Let yourself be seen. Let yourself be content. Let yourself be in those moments and see what happens.